All right, everybody, welcome to the next NBC game of the week. As we are north of the border, Strat-O-Matic is where we're located. Hello there, Ben. Good to see you. Went to this more traditional setup instead of that big game board, hoping it would be a little bit easier for me and maybe easier for you guys to follow as well. Not having to worry about all these little accoutrements all over the place. Just keep it basic. So there is Strat-O-Matic. It adds 1 to strikeouts and takes away 4 from walks. And so we'll put this over here out of the way, and I'll bring it in when we get ballpark rolls. Starting pitchers for today's game, Preston Hanna for the Atlanta Braves. He's making a spot start. He had 4 starts and 2 relief appearances. So not that much in the way of pitching, only 24 1/3 innings. And, of course, the ace of the Montreal staff over the late 70s and early 80s was Steve Rogers, and that's who's on the mound right now. So Rogers, 13-12 with an ERA of an even 3, and he can face 28 batters before he fatigues. All right, let's get this ball rolling, as they say. And might need to back this up just a hair, get more room here. Just a little bit more room, especially as we get to the later innings. I'll move stuff around probably. But right now, we'll just go with that. Hopefully that's a good enough presentation. All right, I think we're back. Now. Good old YouTube. What do you do with YouTube? No telling what we'll do with YouTube. I got to find a different way to stream because this is just not working for me, apparently. It doesn't like me for whatever reason. I don't know any other channels that get circles in the sand. I seem to be the only one doing it. So, but I think other people have different means of streaming. Maybe they use OBS, maybe they use something else. I don't know. I just go into the YouTube Studio app and hit, stream now or live now or whatever you want to call it, and that's what I use. So I don't know what the disconnect is between YouTube and that, but whatever. Hello, Robert. Let's see you. It's definitely not internet. I'm cooking with gas on internet, so that's not a problem whatsoever. Internet has nothing to do with that. All right, so we're back. Nobody missed anything. We didn't start the game yet. I was just going through introductions. So maybe if we're going to have circles in the sand, maybe the best way to do it is to get it early and get it out of the way. Hopefully it's out of the way anyway. So we have Jerry Royster leading off for Atlanta, second baseman. And like I normally like to do with these larger dice, since I'm going back to the larger dice, is roll them separately from the D20. Roll the D20 separate because it's just too much congestion in there otherwise. So let's get this ball game going. Rogers. In fact, let's put it around this way because we always do the pitcher first. So the pitcher actually should be listed first because we're going to do it like we're reading a book, left to right. So we start with Steve Rogers, and we get a 3-3 on Rogers, and that is a potential strikeout. Jerry Royster strikes out at a 7. Stadium adds 1, makes it an 8. So 1 to 8, it will be a strikeout. And that's an 11, so it failed. So we go to Jerry Royster to finish the at-bat. We get a 4-1, and that is a ground ball to first. And that's going to be handled easily by Rusty Staub playing first base in this one. Rusty Staub, the aged one, like Grand Orange or whatever they called him. And here right now is right fielder Gary Matthews. That is a 5-3, and on Rogers, that's a range play at the park. So we'll bring in Strat-O-Matic and look at a range play on the park. Whoops, that got held up in there. Let's try that again. 4-6. That's a home run to center field. We're checking the home run number on Matthews. His home run is a 16. So 1 to 16, and won't have to worry about a range play. It'll be over the fence. If it fails on the home run, then it'll be a center field range play. But it's a 1. It's gone. No range play to worry about. Gary Matthews, the Sarge, goes deep. And the center fielder, Dawson, just could look at it. He couldn't do anything else with it. So that is gone, and it's 1-0 Atlanta. That'll bring up Jeff Burrows. And it looks like it's still pretty choppy. I don't know what the deal is with this. Hold on, Tabby. Let me move this stuff out of your way. I don't know why it's choppy. Like I said, I'm going to have to find a different way other than YouTube the app or whatever it's called, to stream. I'm going to have to get something, whether it be OBS or StreamYard or something, because this just is not working for me the way I would like it to. All right, so if we get Tabby's tail out of the way, we can get going here. Jeff Burrows. Hello, Dr. D. That's a 2-2, and that's a double question mark. That's a pitcher, what they call a pitcher result. Come over here. He's facing a righty. So 1 to 11, it's an automatic out. 12 or higher, we treat it as a blank. It is a 12, so it's treated as a blank. So we come over here to Jeff Burrows, finish the at-bat. 4-3, and it is a ground ball to third. It is a split chance. Split chance on the 4-3. To the left of the slash would be a single against lefties, but against righties, it's a ground ball to third, and that's going to be out number 2. So 2 down. 2 down, and Bob Horner, the batter. 6-3 is a potential strikeout. Horner strikes out at a 10. Stadium adds 1, makes it an 11. 1 to 11 is a strikeout. And it is a strikeout. First strikeout of the game for Rogers, but the home run from Gary Matthews puts the Braves in front 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the first. And little used Preston Hanna is your starting pitcher for the Braves. I'm sorry, Tabby's tail is kind of just going back and forth here. Tabby, what are you doing? All right, so hello, Brian B. Here is, whoops, got to go back this way. Keep forgetting I'm supposed to do it this way. All right, here is Hannah. 3-5. That's a range play. We're going to Cromartie's card for a range play. And that is a 3-1. That's a fly to right field. We're checking the range of the right fielder. And that is Matthews. His range is a 3. So 1 to 3, and he will make the catch. He does. So Matthews hauls it in, 1 away. Cromartie is out. And that'll bring up Rodney Scott. 1-3, and that's a range play at the park. Going to Strat-O-Matic for a range play. 6-5, that's a blank. So we're going to a rare play. So the range play has been nullified for a rare play with bases empty. So we got rare play, bases empty. Roll the 2d6s. Whoops. And we get a 32, 3-2. Grounder to second, who throws in the dirt, making the first baseman scoop the ball. Resolve the play using a range check for the first baseman. All right, so the first baseman for Atlanta is Mike Lum. His range is a 4, pretty good. 1 to 4, and he will make the play. Anything 5 or higher, it's going to be a throwing error. And that's going to be an error on the second baseman, an error on Royster, E4. As Lum unable to get to that. Unable to get to that one. So reaching is Rodney Scott. See if he can get a lead. We'll roll the strategy roll for the first time in the game. It's a 6-0 happening on. Well, actually, it is happening on there. It's a 6. His attempt is a 6 plus 1 from Hannah. So he gets the steal sign. He can go if he wants to. It's a 15. Plus 1's a 16. The catcher is Nolan. He's a plus 2. So that makes it an 18. So 1 to 18, and he will reach second base successfully, and he does. Stolen base for Rodney Scott. So Scott's at second base, and Andre Dawson, the batter. The Hawk. 6'4", and that's a potential wild pitch. Wild pitch rating is 1 to 12. That's a 20, so no wild pitch. So we move on to Andre Dawson. 5-2. It's a power result to center field. Against a right-hander, it goes up to 15. 1 to 15 would be a hit. And that is a 10. So that's going to be a triple for Andre Dawson, as the triple range is 6 to 15. So a triple for Andre Dawson, and the Expos lead it 1 to nothing. RBI triple from the Hawk. And that'll bring up Rusty Staub, acquired from the Detroit Tigers in a late season move. Still in his Tiger uniform, and had time to change yet. Infield for Atlanta. They're going to play in. Dawson runs at a 4. That'll knock him down to a 2 by playing in. But it does affect range plays, obviously. 1-3, and that's it. And what do we say? It's a range play right at the park. We just said that it's going to affect range plays in the infield anyway. So 1-3 is a range play at the park. 2-5, and that's a star 2, which is a ground ball to first. So that's going to affect the range alum. He will drop from a 4 to a 2 on his range because the infield is in. So 1 to 2, he still gets to it. He still gets to it, and that will freeze the runner. They will hold Dawson in a nice play for Lum. So he was still able to knock it down and keep Dawson from scoring. He did not go in contact. He was waiting to see if it went through, and it did not. So 2 outs now, runner at third, infield back to normal. And Ellis Valentine to bat. 5-6, that's a strikeout chance. He's a 9. Stadium adds 1, gives him a 10. 1 to 10 for a strikeout. And that is a strikeout to end the inning. But the run scores. It's an unearned run, but it still goes on the scoreboard. And at the end of 1, we're tied at 1. And by the way, Montreal won this game real world 2-1. So we're already going to have to need some serious pitching to keep that score up. And here's Mike Lum. He made that nice defensive play his first time up. Lum. 2-2 for Rogers is a pitcher result. Against lefties, 1 to 14 is going to be an out. And it will be an out. And the out will be a 4, which is a fly to left. 1 away. And again, I haven't played this game in a while. I've gotten back into it the last couple of weeks, but I don't play it but once a week. So if you see me make an egregious error on a rule, let me know, and I will stop the game and make sure that we play it correctly. All right. Here comes Roland Office, center fielder. 6'3", that's a strikeout chance. He's an 8, but you add 1 from the stadium. And let's see, that would make it a 9. And it's not going to be a strikeout. So we'll go to Office's card to finish the at-bat. A little disappointing that he had 277 at-bats and still given a cookie cutter card, but what are you going to do? 5-2, ground ball to short. And I know the pat answer is well placed, inside pitch advance, but I'm not investing all that money in that game when I invested all the money in this game, being told that this was the final product at the time. So I'm not even going to, I don't even do anything with that. So anyway, Joe Nolan, the batter. 4-4, that's a walk chance. He walks at an 11, but the stadium does take 4 away from the walk, -4. So whatever number here, we subtract 4 from it, so it's a 7. 1 to 7, he will walk. He does not. So the stadium actually took that walk away. That would have been a walk otherwise. So Nolan will swing. 2-4, and he's going to ground it to second, and that will end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the second, still tied at 1 apiece. And Larry Parrish, might remember him from the '87 replay with the Texas Rangers, where he's mostly the DH. But of course, back in '79, late '70s, early '80s, he's with the fixture at third base for the Expos. Here's Hannah, 4-4. That's a strikeout chance. He's an 11. Stadium adds 1, 1-12, and that will be a strikeout. Parrish strikes out, 1 away. For Duffy Dyer, for some reason, he's catch today instead of Carter. I guess just to give Carter a day off, a day game after a night game kind of thing or something. I don't know. But anyway, whoops, I didn't go through. That's why Duffy Dyer is catching. 3-5, and that is going to be a range play. So we'll go to Duffy Dyer. 6-5. That's a single to short. So we're checking the range of Frias. He's a 2. He could prevent this hit if you get a 1 or a 2. He does not, so it's going to skid through for a base hit as usual. And Duffy Dyer has no chance to move up. There's no ball kickoff or pickoff error, so there's no reason to roll a strategy roll in this situation because nothing would happen. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Brian B. I mean, this is still probably my second favorite game, even in this condition. Even in this condition. But if I wanted him to steal, he can't steal. His stolen base rating is a 0. He would be caught every time because he's got a stolen base number of 0. So you can't by rule, if you use a strategy roll, you're not supposed to steal unless you get a jump. And his attempt is an N, which means he can never go. He can never get the lead to go. So, all right, here is Chris Spire. Hannah, 1-4 is a walk chance. He walks at an 11. Stadium does typically 4, though. It makes it a 7. And that's a 9. So the Stadium took that walk away again because of the -4. So we'll go to Spire to finish the at-bat. 4-3. It's a single to right field. Single to right field. Right fielder arm, Matthews, is a 0. And if you look at the chart, on a single to right field, you add 2 to the base running going from first to third. So base running for Dyer is only a 1. So we add 2 to it to make it a 3. So 1 to 3, he would make it to third base. He does not. It's potentially he could be thrown out because he rolled a 6. So when you roll a 6 on the overthrow, that's where we're going to this area here. I'm going to roll now this is where I'm getting a little bit. This is where I'm a little bit shaky because I haven't played the game in a while. So I'm trying to remember, folks, and somebody can let me know that's an expert at this game, or maybe Brian B. or Ben or whoever. When you roll a 6 on the throw to third, which chart do I go to? Do I go straight to this one, or do I go to this one up here? Trying to remember. I thought I'd go to this one, but I don't know for sure. So I'm trying to remember which one to go to. This is the one part of the game where if you haven't played in a while, it's going to catch up with you. I believe I go to this one here. I'm thinking that's where I'm supposed to go. So that's where I'm going to go. So at 1, the lead runner advances, ball caught off, and trailing runner is thrown out. 2 to 5, the lead runner is out. 6, the lead runner advances, and the trailing runner is in a rundown. So I believe that's the way it's supposed to go. So let's see what we roll first of all. Roll a 4, so that means the lead runner is out. No, it's the 2.6 lower middle. Oh, you're talking about this one right here? All right, so we're going to use the arm rating. All right, thank you for that, Ben. Let's redo this. We're going to use the arm rating, which was 0 for Matthews. If it's a 1 to 3, then we go to this chart. 4 to 6, he holds. All right, it's a 1, so we're going to this chart here. Now we're going to re-roll. That's a 5, so he is out. Okay. So he's out going to third. 9, Dolly Parton style, 9 to 5. And let's see, there's a runner on first. Let's see. If the BR is high, if the roll is higher than the BR of the runner, he holds, otherwise he advances. Well, the 5 is definitely higher than the BR of Spire, so he has to hold. So hopefully I did that correctly. Dr. D, it's not that complicated if I play it all the time like I do Strat. It's just I don't play it that much. So that's why for me it's a little bit confusing. But once you play it a few times and you get it down, it's pretty simple. It's just I don't play. I play once a week. I mean, I probably maybe ought to play some practice games offline or something, but I got like 3-4 projects going right now, so I really don't have time to do that. And this project is almost done anyway, but one more month, so we'll be done with that eventually. Anyway, I may go ahead and I may go ahead at some point, maybe during the off season of baseball, once the Rockies replay is done, once the NBC game of the week is done, once the Sunday Basic Sunday is all done, and I'll only have 1987 Strat, and the golf is done also, then I might do a one team season replay in Inside Pitch just to get my skills back up. So anyway, all right. So 2 outs. Runners at first is Spire, and Spire kind of attempt does he have? He has no attempt either, so we're not going to roll the strategy roll for him either. 1-5 is a strikeout chance. 18 on Rogers. +1 from the stadium is a 19. So it will be a strikeout to end the inning. So nothing across. Throw from Matthews. Cut down Duffy Dyer. And now we go to the third. Still 1-1. Man, I would like to like Inside Pitch Advance, but I can't. It's just a principle. It's a principle for me. I just can't do it. Just can't do it. I'll leave it to Robert and other people. I'll stick with this. Just can't invest the money in it. All right, here is Steve Rogers facing Frias. 1-5 is a walk. He walks at a 2. Stadium is a -4, so obviously no walk is allowable. We'll go to Frias. But hey, if people like Inside Pitch Advance, go for it. Enjoy it. That's what the hobby's all about, is enjoying things. Single to center field for Frias. He gets the leadoff single. He's got an attempt of 1 +2 from Rogers for an attempt of 3, but that's not going to happen. So because Preston Hanna only pitched 24 innings, he does not have a hitting card. There would be an asterisk up there, like Steve Rogers has not the asterisk, but the pound sign that tells you he has his own batting card. Well, obviously Preston Hanna with only 24 innings is not going to have a batting card, so we are going to use the generic pitcher hitting card. It's given a bunt rating of 4, so that's what I'm going to go with. The bunt rating of 4. Yeah, I don't like the way they're designed, Brian B, with the horizontal. It just looks too busy in my book, but that's just me. I guess if I took the time to really, sit down and learn it and go whole hog on it, I'd probably, after a little bit of time, would think, hey, this is easy. But I just don't want to invest that much energy into it. All right, so we have a bunt opportunity. So first of all, we're going to roll and see if Rogers can get a strikeout. That's a 6-2, so that's going to be a strikeout plus. Now, when you bunt, the strikeout is cut in half. However, the plus is not going to matter. He's a 35 up here, so he's going to strike out. I'm going to say I put a little B here saying he struck out trying to bunt. There was just no way to get that bunt down. So 1 away for Jerry Royster. 5-6, and that is a single, except for the fact this is a fatigue check. It would be a single if he's fatigued, but he has not faced 28 batters yet, so we treat it as a blank. Go to Royster. 3-5, and that's going to be a ground ball to short, potential double play. His double play rating is a 2. Rogers is a 0. The infield is halfway, makes it a 3. And now we check the all-important pivot, and the pivot man is the second baseman. In this case, Rodney Scott, and his pivot's a -1. So that's going to bring it back to a 2. 1-2 for a double play. And it is a double play. It's still going to work. It's a Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play. 6-4-3 DP. Giovanni's Tailor Shop, Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area and you have tailoring needs, be sure to stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. So we move on and go to the bottom of the third, and leading off, it'll be the top of the order, Warren Cromartie. All right, Warren Cromartie. 5-1, strikeout chance. He's an 8, +1 from the stadium is a 9. And it's not going to be a strikeout, so Cromartie will swing it. 6-4, the liner right to third base. So snagged by Bob Horner. One away for Rodney Scott. 5-2, that is a strikeout chance. It's an 11, plus the 1 is a 12. And that was a strikeout of Rodney Scott. Fourth strikeout for Hannah. 2 up and 2 down, and that's going to send up the Hawk, Andre Dawson. 1-6 is a ballpark card going to Strat-O-Matic. And we get a 5-2, which is a ground ball to short. So that will end the inning very quickly. And we played 3 at Strat-O-Matic, and we're tied at 1 apiece. And that'll bring up Steve Rogers to face Gary Matthews, the Sarge, who homered his first time up. 2-2, and that's a pitcher result. 1-11 will be a out. 12 or higher, it's a blank. And that is a 16, so it's a blank. We go to Matthews' card to finish the at-bat. 1-3, it's a star 1, which is a ground ball to second. 1 away for Jeff Burrows. Dr. D, if you're still here and you're listening, if you really want to learn this particular game here, the inside pitch basic, go back and watch one of RJL's slow playthroughs that he does before each of his season replays. He goes through it painstaking detail and shows everything that's happening. So I would definitely check that out. RJL Network. Watch one of his slow playthroughs. Usually it's a World Series matchup of the teams of the season he's getting ready to do. All right, so here is Rogers to Burrows. 4-4, and that's a walk. But the walk is a 21. -4 is a 17, so it's possible he could not walk. 17 around the number, so he does walk. So even the stadium couldn't stop that. First walk issued by Rogers. Nothing on the strategy. Here's Bob Horner. 3-4, and that is a strikeout chance. He's a 10, +1 from the stadium is an 11. But that's too high. We go to Horner to finish the at-bat. 3-5, that's a star 5, which is a fly to center field. 2 down. For Mike Lum. 3-6, and that's a blank, so we go to Lum. 6-6, and that's a single past first base. So let's see if the runner can go to third or not. Wrong side. On an S3, to get from first to third, you have to have a base running rating of 2 or better. Well, with 2 outs, everybody's going to have 2 or better. So Burrows will take third base. Or out, or put runners on the corners. And 2 away. For Roland Office. Rogers. 1-6, that's a blank. It's a strikeout to a righty, but a blank to a left-handed hitter, which Office is a lefty. 1-3, and that is a ground ball to second. Dr. D, if I ever get to the point where I start playing this game regularly, I will do a RJL-like tutorial where I go, step by step on everything and show everything. I just don't have the time to do that right now, and I need to get, more back the way I used to be on this game years ago when I played it all the time. I need to be that proficient. So right now I'm not proficient enough to do something like that. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. Strat will probably always be #1 for me. But I do like this game as a change of pace. There's certain things I do, especially when if you get a strikeout on the pitcher card in Strat, the guy struck out regardless, no matter whether it was a contact hitter or not. Here in this game, you can fend off a strikeout by being a contact hitter. That's one of the things that, unfortunately, the Strat engine doesn't provide. But as they say, it's supposed to work out in the end. Here's Hanno, 1-4. That's a walk chance. He's an 11, but -4 is a 7. But it's still going to be a walk to Rusty Staub. Staub has no chance to move up. The only way he could steal a base is on a failed hit and run. Make sure there's no hit and run call. There's not. All right, here's Ellis Valentine. 6-6 is a blank for Hanno. We go to Valentine. 3-4, and that's a fly to center field. 1 away. So 1 down for Larry Parrish. 5-4, and that's a blank because he's not tired yet. Parrish, 1-4. That's a power result to right field. It goes all the way to 19 against right-handed pitching. So he's got a good, other than a 20, he's going to get a hit somewhere. That's a 13. That's a triple for Larry Parrish. See right there on the power result, 12 to 13 is a triple. So a triple for Larry Parrish. And the Expos take a 2-1 lead on the triple by Parrish. Now the infield's going to come in for Duffy Dyers at bat. 3-5, and that is a range play. Of course, with the infield in, of course, we're going to have a range play. You knew that was coming. Dyer, 6-5. That's a single to short. Range play of Frias is a 2, but with the infield in, he's a 0. So it's an automatic base hit. And it's a 3-1 Expo lead, but they kind of had to bring the infield in that case. They just got a bad break with a range play, that's all. All right, so Dyer is aboard. Dyer is aboard, and that brings up Chris Spire. Hannah, 2-2 as a ballpark check. Going to Strat-O-Matic. Get a 3-5. That's a single plus to center field. That means the runner automatically gets 2 bases. The batter has to try to turn this into a double. Base running rating on Spire is a 2. Center fielder arm is a +1, makes it a 3. So 1 to 3, he'll stretch this to a double. 4 to 5, he's got to hold. 6, he might be out. And that's a 6. So we'll go back now to this. And we'll look at the outfield arm. The outfield arm is a +1. So on a 1 to 2, he might be thrown out. 3 to 6, he'll hold. That's the way that chart reads. And that's a 1. So that means we're going to our secondary chart here. And roll a 3. That means the lead runner is out. That means Spire is out. So that's going to go 8. We'll call it 8 to 4, as he was out trying for the double. And you have to go. It's not, unless you homebrew it, you play by the rules, you got to go. Otherwise, I guess you could homebrew it to play safe or something like they do in APA. I don't know, but I guess you could do it that way. Season ticket was another one. I mean, I played it last year for the NBC Game of the Week, but it was the only time I ever played it. So I felt like I was never that proficient with it. Next year, NBC Game of the Week is going to be Strat-O-Matic, so I don't have to worry about that problem. It'll be the 1980 season Strat-O-Matic. That'll be the NBC Game of the Week next year, 1980 season. We go in progression. We did 78 last year, 79 this year, 80 next year. And if I do 81, then we'll see who produces 81. Might have to go get, inside pitcher. History maker or something just to be different or whatever. All right, so Steve Rogers is up with 2 outs and a runner at third, and Duffy Dyer. That is a 3-2, and that's a blank. We go to Rogers, who's a 156 hitter. 1-6, he's going to ground to second, and that will end the inning. But 2 runs come in for Montreal. And we go to the top of the 5th. 3-1 Montreal in the lead. Joe Nolan is up. Preston Hanna will bat third coming up. He's already faced 18 batters. He can face 24. So it's 1979, so I think they're going to probably let him hit. So here is Rogers to Nolan. 1-2, and that is a blank. Go to Nolan. 5-5. That's a single to second base for Joe Nolan. And yet another cookie cutter card for Atlanta. Joe Nolan, 230 at bats. Roland Office, 277 at bats. Mike Lum, 217 at bats. So there's 3 batters that had over 200 at bats, but they're rated as cookie cutter. That to me is darn near unacceptable, but I put up with it. So, all right, here is Frias. Rogers, 2-1. That's the ballpark card again. 4-6. That's a home run to center field, but Frias cannot hit a home run, so it's an automatic out on a fly to center field because he has 0 home run power. So Frias is out. 1 away for the pitcher, Preston Hanna. And Hanna will try to bunt again. 2-1 is going to be at the ballpark. So I don't know, does the ballpark override the bunt? Let's see here. I don't see anything that says it overrides it, but I don't know. I don't know. Ben, if you're still there, or Brian, or whoever, when you go for the bunt, you get the ballpark result. Does that override the bunt? You go to the ballpark card, or do you stick with the bunt? That's what I'm not sure of. It doesn't say anything on there about a ballpark card that I can see. I'm sure it's in the rule book somewhere. Go to the bunt. Okay, thank you. So ignore the ballpark card. We're going straight to the bunt. He's a bunt rating of 4, but of course the corners are in. It's going to make him a 3. So we're looking in this column here. First, we're going to roll the D6 and see who fields the bunt. That's a 6. So it's fielded by the catcher. Catcher Joe Nolan. I'm sorry, catcher Duffy Dyer will field the bunt. And now it's a 3, so we're going to roll the D20 and see where we fall. 17. He's safe. Great bunt. So how about that? Preston Hanna put down such a good bunt. He's going to beat it out for a base hit. So Duffy Dyer not fast enough to get to it, apparently. And it ends up being a base hit because we rolled a 17. All right. So now that brings up Jerry Royster. Rogers, 1-6. That's a strikeout chance. He's a 7. Stadium adds 1, gives him an 8. And that is a strikeout. For Rogers, that is his 3rd. And now go to Gary Matthews. If I was playing Strat-O-Matic, I would say in a clutch situation, but we're not playing Strat-O-Matic, so no clutch to worry about. Here's Rogers, 1-5. That's a walk chance. He walks at a 13, but Stadium takes 4 away, makes it a 9. And Stadium takes away the walk once again. So to Matthews, 5-3. Single to right field for Gary Matthews. Let's see if the run can score. Nolan doesn't run too well. He runs at a 2, but there are 2 outs, makes him a 3. Right fielder arm, though, Valentine is a -2. So let's see what the board says. On a single to right field, to score from second base, you add 1 to the tally. So Nolan's a 2 base runner. We add 1 to it because it was hit to right field, gives him a 3. There are 2 outs. We add another one, gives him a 4. But then the -2 gives him a 2. So a 1 to 2, he can score. He does not. So he's got to hold up, and the bases are loaded. Because Nolan's not very fast, he couldn't score. So the bases are loaded now with 2 outs for Jeff Burrows. 5-2 strikeout chance. Burrows is a 12, +1's a 13, and that's going to be a strikeout to end the inning. I agree with Brian B. I do bunt whenever I feel like it needs to be bunting. The only time I use a strategy roll is for stolen bases and pickoffs and stuff. I don't use it for hit and runs or bunts. Those I do when I want to do it. I don't worry about a roll for that. That's part of the home group. So I agree, Brian B. 100%. Pitcher's up. Unless he's Madison Bumgarner or somebody, I'm probably bunting. All right, here's Preston Hanna to Cromartie. 3-2, and that's a blank. Go to Cromartie. 1-3, and that is a ground ball to second on the way. And in case you're curious how she's doing, there she's right there, just doing her bath. Having a good old time, and at least she's being quiet and leaving us alone and not getting in the way of the field. That's the main thing. All right, so Cromartie is out. And now that brings up Rodney Scott. 3-2 is another blank. We go to Rodney Scott. 1-4, and it's R5. Ground ball to second. So 2 ground outs to second base, and here's the Hawk, Andre Dawson. 2-3, and that's a walk plus chance. He walks at a 6. The plus makes it a 16, but then the -4 makes it a 12. And it's still going to be a walk. So Dawson will draw the base on balls. He's going to try to see if he can get a lead. That's a 4. He does get the lead. His attempt is a 6 plus the 1 makes him an attempt of 7. The 4 fits. So he gets the lead. He runs at a 6, or he steals at a 16. The hold rating for Hanna on stolen base attempts is a +1 for a 17. And Nolan is a +2 arm to make it a 19. So 1 to 19. And he barely got in there, but he does. Stolen base for the Hawk. He's at second base with 2 outs for Rusty Staub. 1-1 blank. We go to Rusty Staub. 3-1. It's ground ball to second, and that will end the inning. So now we got to be careful of Hanna. He has faced now 22 batters. He can only face 24 before he gets tired, so we'll keep an eye on him in the 6th inning. I imagine the 6th inning will be the last inning he could possibly go. But we'll see how it plays out. He might, if they get enough people on base, they might pinch hit for him down here. Rogers doesn't have that problem. He faced 28 batters. He's only faced 21 right now, so he's in good shape. Here is Rogers, 5-6, and that's a blank because he's not tired. So we go to Horner. 3-1, and that's a single pass shortstop for Bob Horner. Leadoff single for Horner. He has no attempt to steal, but will still roll the strategy roll because a potential pickoff could occur. If you roll the 20. There's no 20, so we ignore that. Here's Mike Lum. 6-3, strikeout chance. He's an 11. +1 from the stadium is a 12. And that will be a strikeout of Mike Lum. 5th strikeout for Rogers. Brings up Roland Office. 4-3. And that is an error on a ground ball, possibly. If there's a ground ball, it's a possible error. 4-1, it's a single to left field. The error rating of the left fielder is Cromartie. He is a 5. No error, but it will be a base hit. Single to left. And I don't think Horner's not going to have any chance to go to third because you lose 2 trying to get from first to third on that. And Cromartie on top, Cromartie on top of that is a -2 arm. So Horner has to hold right where he is. First and second, 1 out for Joe Nolan. Joe Nolan. Rogers, 6'2". That is a blanket to the lefty. Would have been a strikeout plus to a righty. 6'3" is a fly to center, 2 down. Now, I don't think there's any way Horner, when you fly to center, going from second to third, you lose 2 already. So he cannot move up on that one. So he will stay in put. Here's Pepe Frias. If Frias reaches, they will pinch hit for Hannah. That's a 1, but nobody can steal anywhere. So Rogers, 6'4", hit by pitch chance. He's a 3. -1 from Rogers is a 2. No hit by pitch. We go to Frias. 5-1, fly to center. That's going to end the inning. So what the Braves, their plan would be to have Hannah pitch the 6th inning and then pinch hit for him the start of the 7th, assuming he doesn't reach fatigue or give up runs or whatever. But that's the plan. I can't disagree with you on those points, Brian. That's why I say play the game you want to play. To me, if you're gonna, I would play it to what makes it the most realistic. All right, here is. I use this kind of as a guideline. I'm not sure if I really agree with every number they have on here. So, all right, here is Preston Hannah. 2-2. That's a ballpark card. Strat-O-Matic. 4-3, and that is a ground ball to third. So Bob Horner makes the play. Valentine is out, 1 away. And just curious, do you guys like this setup better, or do you like it better when I had the old board like Robert had? I'm good either way. It doesn't matter to me. I actually kind of prefer this because it's just simple, but if some people like to see the cards move around, you can let me know, and I'll try it again one time. But at least for my money, this is a whole lot easier to deal with. And you can follow along on the score sheet what's going on, I would think. Hannah, 5-5. That's a hit by pitch chance, but he's a -10, so it's not going to be a hit by pitch. Go to Parrish. 3-2. That's a star 6. Ground ball third. Horner will make another play. 2 down for Duffy Dyer. Now, let's see here. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now, technically, Preston Hannah is now tired, technically, by rule, because that's the 24th batter. This is the 25th batter. So we'll see if he hits one of those results. 6-1 is a strikeout chance. Dyer is a 16 plus 1's. I'm sorry, it's a 15 plus 1's a 16. And he struck him out. So we don't have to worry about it because I'm going to pull him for a pinch hitter anyway. And he's going to get 5 strikeouts. So Preston Hannah's day is done. Actually didn't pitch all that poorly. 6 innings pitched. He's going to give up, because one of the runs is unearned. So it's 3 runs, 2 earned. Gave up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 hits. He walks 2 and strikes out 5. So now we need a pinch hitter for Preston Hannah. And this is where we can go to the benches and bullpens for both teams. I'll show you who they have available. I'll show you the Braves for now because the Expos don't need anything like that. But the active players on the roster at this particular game, point in time, they have no lefties on the bench. They have 1 switch hitter, and that's Darrell Chaney. He's not very good. They also have Barry Bonnell, Dale Murphy, Bruce Benedict, and Charlie Spites. So it looks like, to me, the best option here is going to be We're going to go to Barry Bonnell. Since he's leading off an inning, I want somebody with better running speed. So we're going to go with Barry Bonnell as a pinch hitter. So Barry Bonnell. He will pinch hit here in the 7th inning for Preston Hanna. And we'll look at the bullpen options for Atlanta in the bottom of the 7th right now. At the top of the 7th, and it's going to be Barry Bonnell against Rogers. 6-4. That's a hit by chance. He's a 5, -1's a 4. And no hit by pitch. So we go to Barry Bonnell. 1-2, and that's a star 3, ground ball to third. 1 away, and Bonnell is retired. That'll bring up the top of the order, and Jerry Royster. 3-6, and that is a blank. 6-4, and that's a single to left field for Jerry Royster. Yes, because Murphy had more at bats. I understand that, but this guy Murphy's not a leadoff hitter, so I would never use him as a leadoff hitter. I want to have him with people on base, especially if we're down by 2. I want to have him when they got possibly a tying run on base. So here's Jerry Royster now. See if he can get a lead. He's a temp of 4 +2 from Rogers. So 1-6 he can steal. Cannot. So he will hold. And that will send up Gary Matthews, the Sarge. 6-3, strikeout chance. He's an 8 +1's a 9. And no strikeout. So Matthews will swing it. And that's a 6-6 for Matthews. Single past second base. Almost assuredly going to go to third is Royster. He runs at a 4, and to get from first to third on a single to second base, all you need is a 3. So Royster will go to third automatically, no throw even to worry about. So runners on the corners with 1 out, and if you're into the fatigue thing again, Rogers is now fatigued because he's faced 29 batters. According to this, he can only face 28. Take it for what it's worth. Attempt to steal, Matthews needs a 5. Doesn't get it. Infield playing for the double play. Rogers to Matthews. 1-6, that's a strikeout chance. He's an 8 +1's a 9. And that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 6 for Gary Matthews. And that'll bring up Jeff Burrows. Maybe what I'll do is as I play this game more, Brian B, I'll try to do one of these things where, all right, Rogers hit his fatigue at this batter, but I'm going to treat it more of an inning. I'm going to say he's not going to be fatigued until the start of the 8th inning. So to me, he gets to finish the 7th inning with full fatigue. That's an idea that came to my head. I may implement that and see how it goes. Or you can just implement and make him tired when you feel like making him tired. 2-2, and see, there you go. You're on the tired result right there. But I'm not going to count that as tired. 1-11 is going to be an automatic out. Nope, it's going to be a Burrows swing. 3-4, and that's a power result to left field, but it's only a 1-4 for a hit. Against lefties, he does much better. And we get a 2, so it's still going to be a single for Jeff Burrows. Burrows will single, Royster will score. The single is to left field, so Matthews probably is not going to be able to do anything with that. Especially that -2 arm from Cromartie is going to negate his speed to a 0. And then going from first, he's not going to be able to make it. So runners are at the corners, and that may do it for Rogers. We might, with the lefty coming up, but then again, the problem is you want to bring a lefty in to face Mike Lum, go right ahead. It's not going to bother Mike Lum because he's cookie cutter. So it almost negates bringing in a lefty reliever at this point. So we're going to stick to Rogers. Look at the bullpen for the Expos, and I can show you who they have available on their roster. The guys that are technically eligible to pitch. There's only one lefty. I'm sorry, there are two lefties in the bullpen. Woody Fryman and Rudy May. Those are the two lefties available. You've got Stan Bonson, Scott Sanderson, and Elias Sosa, the closer. Those are the bullpen guys that are available for the Expos. Rogers is a veteran. He's the ace of your staff, so I think he's earned the right to keep pitching. That's a 1. Can Horner get a jump with that? No, he can't. So not going to worry about that. So we go to Rogers pitching to Lum, 2-5. That's a walk chance. He walks in an 8, but the -4 takes that away. And again, the walk is taken away by the ballpark. We go to Lum. 1-5 fly to center is going to end the inning. So that will do it for Rogers. We'll go ahead and cap him right there because he's going to bat second next inning. We can pinch hit for him. So that will do it for Rogers. We'll finish the book on Rogers. And he will go 7 innings, giving up 2 runs. They were earned. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I was looking for 11 hits. Most of those were singles. The only extra base hit was a home run. Everything else was, he gave up 10 singles otherwise. Only 1 walk that I can see. That was Burrows, and he struck out 6. All right, now the Atlanta Braves need a new pitcher. And so they have in the bullpen, they got one lefty, Larry Bradford. They have both McLaughlins, Joey and Bo. They have Adrian Devine, and they have Gene Garber. Those are the guys available. With Spire coming up, as well as a pinch hitter, probably going to a right-hander in this situation. So we're going to Adrian Devine. But we're also going to have a double switch because the pitcher spot's coming up 4 spots away. So we're going to have the pitcher spot's going to go in Mike Lum's spot. So Mike Lum will come out of the game. Mike Lum will exit the game. Going in to play first base will be a guy named Dale Murphy. And Murphy will bat 9th. So Murphy, the first baseman, will bat 9th. He's a 3E15 for Murphy, but he will bat 9th, which means he bats cleanup next inning. It's a good thing RGL is not here because he would have a conniption on the double switch, but that's okay. All right, so Adrian Devine is going to be your new pitcher, and he's going to be facing Spire, a pinch hitter for Rogers, and Cromartie. So looking at the Montreal bench, they have a couple of lefties. They have Tom Hutton and Jim Mason from the left side. They got a switch hitter, Jerry White. They have Dave Cash, Tony Perez, and Gary Carter. Those are the available pinch hitters. I agree, Brian. You're preaching to the choir, as they say. So I think based on what we have, Tommy Hutton is going to be the pinch hitter for Steve Rogers. Tommy Hutton. He will pinch hit in the 7th inning for Mr. Steve Rogers. But first, it's going to be Chris Spire. So it'll be Spire, Hutton, and Cromartie due up for the Expos here in the bottom of the 7th of a 3-2 ball game. Adrian Devine can face 8 batters according to this. 4-1, and that is a walk plus to a lefty, but Spire's a righty, so it's a blank. That is a 2-1, and that's a single to second base for Chris Spire. Single to second. Now, let me check Rogers again. He's only a 3 bunt rating, not that great. I was going to say put bunt him over, but I think we'll go ahead and stick to our plan of using Tommy Hutton as a pinch hitter. Now he's cookie cutter, but he's only got 83 at bats, so I got no problem with that. If we only got 83 at bats, I got no problem with being cookie cutter. But if you got 200 or 300 at bats, to me, you ought to at least have some sort of split. All right, so Divine pitching to pinch hitter Tom Hutton. 1-2 is a blank. 5-2. That's a power result to to left field. 1-15. It's going to be a base hit. And that's a 5. It'll be a double for Tom Hutton. Double to left field for Tom Hutton. Spire runs at a 2. Double to left. Double to left, you lose 1, trying to go home. So that knocks him down to a 1. Burrows is a +2 arm, though, makes it a 3. So a 1-3, he can score. And he does. So it's Spire will come in and score on the pinch hit double by Tom Hutton in the Expos. Extend the lead 4-2. And now comes Warren Cromartie. You don't see pinch hitting results like that on the other channel. 3-3, and that's a walk chance. He walks at a 3, but the -4 is going to make that a negative. Oh, that's a leaner, so I'm going to re-roll that. 1-6, and that's going to be a star 5. Star 5 is a ground ball to third. And let's see here, ground ball to third. The runner on second. The ground ball is hit to third. Only way he moves up is on a 6. He does not, so he's got to hold. Let's ground out to third with the runner holding. 1 away for Rodney Scott. 5-1's a range play. Infield's playing normal, though. 4-2, and that is a range play right to the pitcher, Divine. He's a 3. And he can't get to it. It's a base hit. Anything, it turns into an S1, and they're automatically a 2-base advancement on a runner at second. So all you need to check, the runner will score automatically. 2 runs are in, and the Expos lead at 5-2, and Atlanta not very divine right now with their relief pitching. Here's Andre Dawson. Divine, 2-4. It's a walk chance. Walks at a 2. It's still going to be a walk. How about that? That's going to do it for Divine. I don't think they can take much more of Divine. I mean, to forgive is Divine, but to leave him still in the ball game is insanity. So I'm going to pull him out, and they're going to the left-hander Larry Bradford. Larry Bradford will come on and pitch against Rusty Staub. So Divine goes a third of an inning, gives up 3 hits. So far, 2 runs are his responsibility. Also, these are his responsibility. So we'll see what happens here. Rusty Staub. Bradford, 2-3 is another walk chance. He walks at a 15, -4 is an 11. And that'll be a walk. That'll load the bases. Bases are loaded with 1 out for Ellis Valentine. Infield playing for the double play. 3-4, that's a potential wild pitch. 1-12. And that is a wild pitch. That will score another run. So the Atlanta bullpen is imploding. Now the infield's going to have to come in. 5-1 is a walk plus, so this could be another walk, although only a 13 here, -4 is a 9. So walk there, so Valentine will swing it with the infield in. 5-3 pops him up to first for out number 2. And now we got Larry Parrish, and they will walk him intentionally and pitch to Duffy Dyer. They will pitch to Dyer. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Bradford to Dyer. 4-2. That's an automatic out on a star line. The automatic out is a fly to center to end the inning. 3 runs come in. They're all charged to Devine, and they're all earned. Bradford's going to go 2/3 of an inning. He's going to walk 2, one of them intentional, and that's it. So it is now 6-2 in favor of the Expos. And Montreal will need a new pitcher. So will Atlanta in the 8th inning. Do it for Atlanta. It'll be Roland Office. Nolan, and Frias. Yes, Denny's. I am taking a break from that. Yes. So we are going to have a new pitcher for Montreal, as Rogers went to 7 innings. Go to the Montreal bullpen. And let's see. We got Office, Nolan. So we got some lefties coming up. So it looks like they're going to go to Woody Fryman out of the bullpen. Woody Fryman. Possible double switch here. In fact, there is going to be a double switch because the pitcher's 2 spots away. They're going to put the pitcher spot in Rusty Staub's spot, and they'll bring in somebody else to play first base. And that somebody else, let's see who that somebody else is going to be. That somebody else will happen to be a guy named Tony Perez. So they're going to bring Perez in, and Perez will bat 9th as the first baseman. Pitcher now, Fryman, goes right here in Staub's spot. So we're going to have Spire, Perez, and then after Dawson, we have Fryman. All right, so Woody Fryman is your pitcher for the 8th inning. Left-hander. Rusty Staub gets the rest of the game off. Hello, Triple G. And already Brian B. It's a good thing RJL's not here. That's the second double switch of the game, and his head would definitely explode. So here's Fryman facing Office. That's a 4-4. That's a home run question mark. Against lefties, it's 1-13. And that passes. Going Office 1-3. And it's going to fail, so we go to Office to finish the at-bat. 5-6, ground ball to second, 1 away. For Joe Nolan, let's see, do they pinch it for Nolan or do they stick with Nolan? Let's see what they want to do. He's a 248 hitter. Tough call. I guess they'll let Nolan hit. He's a cookie cutter, so not going to affect him facing a lefty one way or the other. 2-6, that's a blank. Go to Nolan. 6-6, that's a ground ball to second, 2 down. For Pepe Frias. That is a 4-3, that's a blank. We go to Pepe Frias. 5-6, ground ball to second. Boy, 3 ground balls to second. They're keeping Rodney Scott busy over there. We go to the bottom of the 8th, still 6-2. It's not going to be a save situation. So Elias Sosa would not come in to pitch the 9th or whatever because it's not a save situation. Braves need a new pitcher. And right now, the Spire is your batter, your leadoff batter. It'd be Spire, Perez, and Cromartie. So they will go to Joey McLaughlin out of the bullpen. To pitch the 8th inning. Joey McLaughlin. He'll be facing Spire. Start off the bottom of the 8th. 6-2. It's It's a 6-1, and that's a strikeout chance. He's an 8. Add 1 makes it a 9, and that's going to fail. So we go to Spire. That's a 1-6 for Spire, and that's a star line 2, ground ball to short. One away for Tony Perez, his first at bat, since coming in as part of a double switch. McLaughlin. Actually, I could have probably just used Tommy Hutton at that position, but I figured what the heck, get the old guy in at bat. 4-6 is a blank. We go to Perez. 2-6, and he's going to get a single. Tony Perez with a 1-out single. Strategy rolls are off, with the score being what it is, so no strategy rolls to worry about. Here is Cromartie. 3-4, and that is a walk chance. Walks at a 3, but a -4 makes it a 0. So Cromartie, 4-6, fly to right field, 2 down. For Rodney Scott. 5-2 is another walk chance. He walks at a 9. No walk. Scott, 1-6, flies to left, and that's going to end the inning. So we go to the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Braves. It'll be Murphy, Royster, and Matthews against Woody Fryman. You can go ahead and let Fryman try to finish the deal here as much as possible. He went 1, 2, 3 in his first inning, so why not keep him going? 3-1, that's a range play. We go to Murphy. Two, and that is a power result to left field, but it's also a range play. So we first resolve the D20 on a range on the power result, and then we check the range play. So we get a 9, so that's going to be a fly out to left field, but it's a range play. So we're checking the left fielder Cromartie. He's a 5. The only way that he doesn't make this catch is on a 6, and so Cromartie will run it down for out number 1. Murphy is out. Here is Royster. 3-2 is a blank. We go to Royster. 2-4. That's a pop up to first. 2 down, and it's last man standing here. Gary Matthews, last chance. Four, 5, and that's going to be a strikeout chance. Could end the game in style with the strikeout. 1-6 for a strikeout, and he does. He strikes out Matthews to end the ball game. So Woody Fryman, despite being tired on the last pitch because he faced 5 batters, that was batter number 6, but he gutted through it and got the strikeout, and he retired all 6 he faces. So the Expos defeat the Braves by the score of 6-2. Winning pitcher was Steve Rogers. The loser is Hannah. McLaughlin pitched the 8th inning, gave up a hit, nothing else. So for the Expos, 6 runs on 10 hits and no errors. For Atlanta, they made 1 error. That was on Royster. And let's see here, 11 hit, 2 runs, and they scattered 11 hits. Just couldn't quite get it done. So from Stade Olympique, we have a final score here. This game was played August 18th, by the way, 1979. Montreal won it 2-1 real world. They win it 6-2 here. And next Saturday, we'll be in Kansas City at Royal Stadium for the Boston Red Sox against the Kansas City Royals. Dennis Leonard against Mike Torres. That'll be an August 25th game from Royal Stadium. That'll be next Saturday on Inside Pitch, NBC Game of the Week. Tonight, if you're so interested, Colorado Rockies Horror Baseball replay. It'll be game number 52 of that replay against the New York Yankees, game 2 of 3. That'll be tonight around 9:30, give or take a few minutes. Tomorrow, we'll have Sunday Basic Sunday, where I play a 1962 game in Strat-O-Matic Basic. I'll have it pre-recorded. Don't know what the game's going to be yet. I haven't played it yet, but I'll pick a game in 1962 for that Sunday that's closest to the real date. And then also on Sunday, we'll have the final round of the Travelers Championship in History Maker Golf, the final round back nine. I've already played the front nine. So we're ready to go for the back nine, where the leaders are on their back nine. So that'll be played and recorded and uploaded again tomorrow afternoon sometime. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great Saturday, whatever you have planned. Again, I preface all my quote unquote frustrations with this game is being I really like the game. I just wish there were a couple things that could make it a lot better. But instead of trying to make this game a lot better, they just made a new game. So that's their choice. They can do that if they like. It's their game. Do what you want. I was a little disappointed in that, but that's all right. Can't be happy about everything. But for those that enjoy the newer game, go for it. Have fun with it. Spend all your money there. That's what you want. So until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it. And Tabby says, we'll see you all down the road.